Your gym crush is literally waiting for you to approach her. How many times are you gonna sit there, stare at her, and just daydream about what she looks like naked? Well, good news. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to pull your gym crush without looking creepy. I'm also gonna teach you guys the best time to approach your gym crush. And then finally, I'm gonna give you guys some easy tips for each step of the way, just so that way you don't end up fumbling them. Step number 1, be somebody. Who stands out the most at the gym? Is it the meathead who's popping steroids in the locker room? Is it the old creepy guy who tries to talk to every young girl in the gym? Is it the chads who think the gym's a club after 5 p.m.? Or is it the motherfuckers who listen to David Goggins and fuck music while they're working out, fighting off their demons? I'm motherfuckers. That's me. Either way, when it comes to these type of gym goers, they stand out, good or bad. So most of the time, they're naturally getting people's attention, even if it's for a few seconds, which allows them to meet people a lot more naturally with ease than probably someone who doesn't stand out at all, because we're naturally standing out. We're naturally bringing people towards us. And so when it comes to dating, it gives us natural social proof, which makes us more attractive overall. So your main goal and the most important step about number 1, you shouldn't be trying to go to the gym to pick up women. You should be trying to go to the gym to establish who you are, make yourself better, and become somebody in that gym. The frame of mind to say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the gym to get a baddie is the exact same mindset that makes you look creepy. The kind of guys who try to talk to the gym baddies who have noodle arms, they're wearing their sister's tank tops to make themselves look bigger while staring at these girls for 20 minutes during their workout. These are the same guys who end up being humiliated in the gym by these girls because they look fucking weird. They look creepy. You're scaring the hose away. You're scaring the hose away. And I'm not saying that you have to look like a fucking tank or look like fucking C-Bum to even have a chance, but you have to look like you go to the gym regularly and you know what you're doing in order to have the best chances possible. So the best tip I can give any of you guys when it comes to step 1 is just start going to the gym regularly. Become a familiar face to the people inside. Start shaking hands and bumping fists with the staff. You don't have to be there every fucking day of the hour, but you need to become someone who just goes there regularly. You don't want to be the person who comes in maybe once a month, stares at girls for fucking 30 minutes and leaves. Just be mindful of what you're doing in the gym because you're in public still. Don't think you're in a fucking club. Now, you could be the most aesthetic, handsome guy in the gym, but if you don't follow step number 2, you're still gonna fumble your gym crush. Step number 2, most of you guys are way too in a rush to try to meet your gym crush, and it's understandable. But the key thing you must understand about bagging your gym crush is that it requires timing. This is where most men lose the girl that they wanted. It's because most of the time, they're way too desperate to make some shit happen, which is exactly what happened with me during 2021. So back then, I used to go to Planet Fitness, and one day I met this baddie. She was blonde. She had a fat. You know what I'm gonna say. She was kind of cute in the face. She had some nice, natural, perky. She's one of the first OG gym baddies I actually met. And besides that, she was the only person in the gym who would jump rope with me. So I used to call her jump rope. So me being young and naive, I'm thinking like, this is God's plan. This is gonna be easy money. This is gonna be, you know, this is gonna be everything. This is gonna be so simple because we have a lot in common. We got a lot of chemistry already. I'm gonna make this shit so easy, it's gonna be a fucking layup. So pretty much one day when she was in the gym with me, you know, I invited her to go get some food afterwards. Say, hey, you know, we should go get some food after this. You know, we should just go, like, you know, go get some food real quick. She was kind of being weird about it, being kind of hesitant on me. Oh, I'll let you know type shit. I'll let you know type shit, right? I'm like, the fuck you gonna let me know about? Are you available or you're not? But so at the end of the workout, you know, I seen her about to leave, right? She's like just rushing to the locker room to leave. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna just see if she wants to go or not, because I don't got time to be trying to figure out what the move is. I remember literally what she said word by word. So as she's leaving, I end up cutting her off midway. I was like sprinting over there. I wasn't sprinting, but I was like speed walking. No one noticed, I don't think, but I remember when I walked up to her, she looked at me, she said, what do you want now? That was probably the biggest L, maybe not that, 2021 was a lot of L's, and shortly after that, I would shoot her a text message and eventually I would be ghosted at that point. So pretty much the moral of the story, which applies to any place you may see a person more than once, is don't be pressed to make something happen if you have time on your side. In the gym, you're gonna see that person more than likely more than once. It's best not to push on a pull open door. And that's literally what it's like in the gym. You gotta push and pull and kind of see where the girl's at. This is exactly why now that when I go to the gym, I'm not so pressed to make some shit happen. This is exactly why when I approach a girl at the gym, I make sure the timing is right. And I don't mean like approaching a girl when it's easy to do, like when there's nobody around. If your approach is predicated upon who's around at the gym, you're gonna be waiting forever to approach a girl. You're gonna be stalking her ass, trying to figure out when she's leaving just so you can meet her out at the parking lot. You're gonna do all these little weird, goofy pickup shit that's ultimately gonna make you look creepy. You need to just say what you gotta say and grab your fucking nuts. And I know it might sound funny, but I know some of y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know some of y'all boys have tried to talk to her in the parking lot or followed her into a space where she's by herself. You're not fucking slick. I know what you guys do because I've been there at one point. When I say the timing is right, I mean she's receptive to being talked to at the gym. She's staring at me. She's hovering around me. She smiles at me. These are all signs that prove to me that the timing is right to talk to her. If the girl is not showing me any reason to talk to her, she's not giving me any opportunity to even engage with me on a just mere physical basis. Unless I'm that attracted to her, which I actually recently just did, I will cold approach in the gym. I don't give a fuck. If I really want a girl, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Most of the time when I'm approaching a girl in the gym, unless I really want her, I don't want to be that motherfucker in the gym trying to talk to every bad bitch that's in there. It just takes way too much energy and time. I don't want to ruin my reputation while being in the gym. Even more important than just that, I want to be focused on my workout. I don't want to just be staring at every bitch that walks past me. I want to be able to just enjoy my workout and let what comes naturally come to me. If I see something I really want, I'm gonna say what I gotta say, but if it's not that way, then I'm just gonna let it come to me. And then lastly, what I'll say about approaching and the timing of approaching is you gotta catch her in between sets or while she's not busy, bro, while she's on her phone or something like that, because some of you guys will try to do some weird shit, like you'll try to give her tips on how to do a certain exercise. You'll try to hit her with some indirect bullshit, like you're using that, and you'll try to start a conversation from there. You'll wait for her to go to the water fountain and try to make a conversation there. And rationally thinking, those sound like easy ways of doing it, but at that point in time, there's no surprise to it. There's no sort of finesse to it. You don't want to be the guy who's pussyfooting with women. Women are not dumb. I know a lot of you guys think that women are naive, but they know exactly what you want from them as soon as you start talking. They know you want something intimately with them if you're trying to talk to them. They're not stupid, bruh. Now, after hearing step number 2, you may think that having a good approach is simple. You may think you're ready just to start bagging up your gym crushes, but it's not that simple. And it requires a few principles I'm gonna teach you in step number 3 in order to successfully master it. Step number 3, your approach sucks. And it isn't because you're not clever or you're not smooth. It's just because it's not applicable in the gym. And what I mean is that for the guys who actually have the nuts to go up to a girl and talk to her in the gym, they just create way too many obstacles during the process. Let me give you guys a story based on real life events. Let's use Slim as an example. It's getting close to Valentine's Day and Slim is getting desperate for companionship. So one day he stumbles across a Raw Talk podcast where you hear Sarah Safari say how more men should shoot the shot in the gym. So Slim rarely hits the gym consistently as shown by his results. But after hearing this, Slim gets gassed to finally talk to that 10 out of 10 thick Latina who works out by herself since no one ever approaches her. So the following week, he sees her hitting legs by herself. After staring at her for 30 minutes straight from multiple angles during his workout, he finally musters up the courage to start a conversation. He notices that she's headed towards the water fountain and then follows her. She quickly moves from the water fountain to the cables once she notices that Slim is following her. So Slim still hasn't caught the hint. So he walks up halfway to the machines to make his move. Before he can make his move, he starts to get a little sweaty and nervous that she's in a crowded area. And so he quickly hops onto a random machine nearby. As she's hitting her booty kicks, he notices her form is off. So he finally grabs his nuts and walks over to her. He asks her if she's using the cables nearby and she says no. And then she begins to continue to work out. After that, he taps her on the shoulder and introduces himself mid-set. And she stops and politely introduces herself. After getting a good look at her and seeing the thickness, he squeaks due to his balls dropping. He stutters as he continues to try to keep the conversation going, ultimately resorting to criticizing her form and saying it's wrong. She begins to quickly go from curious to annoyed, telling him that she's good and that she wants to get back to her workout. He then freaks out and just asks her, do you have a boyfriend? And then she finally just looks at him and says, can you go away? Slim speeds walks to the locker room and pukes all over the ground due to the nervousness. And not to forget to mention the 4 scoops of pre-workout that he took to be like Sam Sulek. After all this, he runs up the gym, never to be seen again. From this story alone, I've already identified 5 obstacles that he brought upon himself. So I'm gonna give you guys the best approach that I've been using for years. The foundation of this approach comes from the acronym KISS. Once I establish a good time to talk to her, whether it be from her staring at me, from me catching her between a set during a cold approach, whatever the case may be, I'm looking for her undivided attention. I need an opportunity for me to say what I gotta say without being interrupted. Once I establish that, I'm gonna walk up to her, my chin up, and just excuse myself for interrupting her workout. It sounds something like this. Hey, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt your workout, or a conversation if she's with her friend, but I had to come over here and introduce myself. My name is KJ. What's your name? Always shake her hand. I know some of these dudes say, don't shake her hand, don't touch. them niggas don't got more game than me. Back to what I'm saying, if she's with her friend, I will always introduce myself to them as well. It's common courtesy and it helps stop you from getting cop blocked. I'll say, hey, my name is KJ, what's your name? Okay, what's your name? Okay, cool. After that, I'll get right into what I gotta say. After I approach and introduce myself and state that I'm there to meet her, I will quickly build some rapport just to keep myself familiar with her and keep things light and take a lot of the pressure off the situation. Because if you approach a girl in the middle of the gym, she's just as nervous as you are. Because it's just like, you guys are the center spotlight. Everyone's watching you in the gym. The conversation will sound something like this. Yeah, I just came to this gym a few weeks ago. I just moved here from New York, so it's good to see that there's no rats running around. Usually she'll laugh, and then eventually the conversation will lead to her asking me why I moved here from New York. Most of the time at this point in time, this is where I'll either flirt, depending on the vibe, or I'll keep it simple. For most of you guys who are novice, who are nervous, do not try to be the Casanova of the conversation. You don't have to be Casanova during the first time you talk to a girl. That's why some of you guys fail. You guys will say stupid pickup lines. Just keep it fucking simple and don't fucking fumble it during this phase. You did all the work already, just keep it simple. Unless the vibe is really right and I'm feeling like this is actually like gonna benefit the conversation, I'm just gonna be fucking just cool, calm, collected, and just let it rock. So once we're flowing and I feel like we're getting towards the peak of the conversation, I'm gonna end it by saying something like this. Well, look, I'm gonna let you get back to your workout, but I wanna get to know you more than meeting that girl at my gym. Let me get your number. Very direct, you're assuming attraction, and when you assume attraction, more times than not, the girl's gonna give you her number because it's very, very confident, it's very, very bold. Most guys will say something like, can I get your Snapchats? Or once I get her number, at that point, I'll pop the question and say, hey, are you on Instagram? I wanna be a familiar face to her life. I don't wanna be the guy who just has her number and she forgets about me 10 minutes after I leave there, or she forgets about me an hour after I leave there. You need to be more present in the girl's life if you wanna be with her. And the more you're in her face at first, the better it is for you. Just a few things you guys cannot afford to miss at this step. You're gonna be nervous, and that's okay, but what's not okay is these two things. Number one, assuming she's not gonna be into you. And then number two, letting your nerves stop you from saying what you gotta say. And another good thing about timing in the gym is that you don't necessarily have to ask her out there and then during the first approach. If she's coming off as standoffish, is kind of distant, not really feeling you like that, I think it's best to leave it be. You may have a better opportunity in the future if you be patient. Again, for most guys who are starting off with though, I think you guys should just ask her out there and then, just so that way you can build that character. Build the character of rejection. Feel that pain of what it feels like to be a man. Another big thing about rizzing your gym crush is, if possible, do not DM her. Do not try to match with her on Tinder or any other dating app. If she notices you in the gym and every time you guys see each other, you do not approach her, especially when she's giving you signs to do so, you're already in a box to her. Yeah, there's a very small percentage of women who actually prefer you to match with them on Tinder compared to meeting them in person, but it's probably like 5%. And those kind of girls, let me not get into those kind of girls. And then lastly, what you should know too about approaching your gym crush is just realize that the longer you wait, the harder it gets. So congratulations if you reached this point and you finally got her contact info. Finally move into the most important step. Step number 4, the first text. This one first text message mistake I made cost me a lot of women. It was probably the main contributor for me not getting text messages back from these girls. And it's actually very simple to correct. Let me just show you some messages that I sent that left me on read or delivered. Hey, what's good, Julie? It's KJ. I'm still trying to make life more interesting, but been caught up at work, unfortunately. Left undelivered. What's good, Kelsey? It's KJ. Didn't want to interrupt you while you're teaching, but still want to get to know you more than just that girl with a pretty smile from Little Wood Rose. Those are just a couple messages that left me undelivered. And it wasn't like my first text was necessarily that bad, but it missed a very key component that you must know. And the biggest principle that my first text messages missed was direction. Once my first messages started having a direction of where the conversation was gonna go, instantly made me get more text messages back, which led me to obviously get more dates, which ultimately led me to have more women in my life. The message I'm gonna show you guys is literally so simple, it may make you feel artistic like it did for me. So this is the text message I pretty much send to every girl that I meet now. Hey Stephanie, it's KJ. It was good meeting you the other day. We should grab a coffee soon. The date you need to avoid at all costs is saying some shit like, we should work out together. Don't do that with a girl you have not dated. Do not do that. This simple text is gonna give the interaction meaning and direction instead of it just being about meaningless bullshit that doesn't matter. I'm also not gonna say, oh, it's KJ from the gym. That just lacks confidence. That just shows like you're not that important if you have to state where you're from. On top of that too, I'm not gonna try to set up a date right there and then, because without the rapport, the chance of the flake is very, very high. you don't want to force her into agreeing to a date, because that's when they start flaking and bullshitting. Because if you don't build rapport, what tends to happen is that you'll set up a date via, like, we'll just say, hey, let's get a coffee on Friday at 2 p.m., right? She'll say yeah to it if she has something to do, but when that time comes around, she'll just flake on your ass because she found something else better to do. I only like to set up dates via phone calls, voice messages, or FaceTime. I need to have some real connection with the girl for me to set up a date, because if not, more than likely, it's just not gonna go anywhere. If you do this step correctly, not only will it reduce your flake rate, but it'll also reduce your ghost rate. And there you guys have it, the full guide to getting your gym crush so far. I may make a part 2 in the future. I can't promise I will. It would just kind of depend how I grow as a person and what I ultimately discover. I've been approaching for like 5+ years in the gym, so I think that I got it down to pretty much a science at this point. But anyways, with this guide, in a perfect world, you're not gonna run across any obstacles when it comes to just dating your gym crush. She's not gonna give you any sort of obstacles. She's not gonna give you any sort of mixed signals. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, it's not like that. It's more chaotic than ever. So that's exactly why you need to watch this video right here, just so that way you guys can determine if she's taking you seriously or not. Again, I appreciate all y'all boys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow my social media. I'll holla back. Peace.